Good morning, friends. Anne here. Got my cup of coffee, got the Word of God, and today's reading is from Luke chapter 6, verses 12 through 16. Friends, let's read it and then have a conversation about it. It says this: One day soon afterward, Jesus went up on a mountain to pray, and he prayed to God all night. At daybreak, he called together all of his disciples and chose 12 of them to be apostles. Here are their names: Simon, who he named Peter; Andrew, Peter's brother; James, John, Philip, Bartholomew, Matthew; Thomas, James, son of Alphaeus; Simon, who was called the Zealot; Judas, son of James; and Judas Iscariot, who later betrayed him. Friends, we are going to be focusing on discipleship this week and learning about the disciples that Jesus called, that he invited to follow him. And so what we hear today is that there was a large group of disciples, but then Jesus prayerfully selected a smaller group of 12 apostles. Why 12? Because there were, in the Old Testament, 12 tribes of Israel. So these would kind of be the new 12 that would go out and take this message into the world. Now, what's the difference between a disciple and an apostle? A disciple is primarily a learner. And disciples do have the responsibility to go and make other disciples, but all disciples are not apostles. Apostles are people that are called sent ones. These 12 apostles were people that Jesus believed had the power, and he gave the authority to go send to tell his story and proclaim the gospel message as he moved forward in his life and then after his death and resurrection. So these 12 were chosen. Now notice that Jesus didn't just choose the people that he liked. Notice that there was a process of spiritual preparation and discernment. If you notice, the first verse that we read said, "One day soon after Jesus went up on a mountain to pray, and he prayed to God all night." Friends, Jesus knew this was an important decision. He knew this was one that was going to have implications all into the rest of even touching our lives today, right? This was a very important decision. And as an important decision, he knew that it required spiritual preparation. Now, what is it that happened before this that really drove Jesus to spend this time in prayer? Well, what we read in the verses and the chapters that precede this is that Jesus kept having conversations and kept having interactions and confrontations with the religious leaders who were constantly against him because they didn't like that he wasn't following their path. He wasn't following them. And on the heels of that, I believe that in Jesus's mind, he must have said, God, you've got to help me choose somebody better than these leaders. He knew that this was a critical decision that was going to require spiritual preparation. So friends, for you in your life, what do you do when you've got an important decision to make? Do you just choose the one that feels best? Or do you spend some time in preparation, really making sure that what you are doing and what you are deciding is bathed in prayer? Important decisions require spiritual preparation. Have a good day.